Wednesday Wonders. We are back and we have Donna McCauley here again with another amazing design. So as you can see on the screen, Donna McCauley has created a gorgeous holiday wreath. We're calling it the Holly Wreath. And she has an amazing handout for us today called the Candle Mat. So today Donna is going to go ahead and show us how this amazing template set, two-piece template set works. She is going to do some demoing. We're going to provide everybody with an awesome handout. But most importantly, we're going to have lots of opportunities to win and win live. So I'm going to post a couple of links here in a minute on things that will help you in being a lucky winner on our live today. And we're going to go ahead and get you inspired with some of the ideas and thoughts that others had on all the things that this template set makes them want to do. And then we're going to tell you how you can win this two-piece template set. So stay tuned for that. And then we're going to have giveaways for every 25 shares. So every time someone shares this post or video live feed, you're going to have the an opportunity to win for every 25 of those. So we'll start with our first 25 shares. You're going to win $10 to our So Study website. So let's go ahead and get the shares going, and we'll announce a winner as soon as we get our first 25 shares, and we'll keep on going. So Donna, we've got this awesome holiday inspired design on the screen. So tell us all about this template set, and I'm going to post a link to the handout.
Oh, perfect. Well, this is part of the Holly series that we have the Holly leaf, and there's a couple of different ways that we've already shown that, and we'll take a look at those real quick but this is the Holly wreath, and it's two templates in the set that will stitch the wreath pattern. Now, what I have here and directions in the handout is with 12 rotations marked, but we don't go all the way around. And so we're going to do a little bit of fun stitching there. We have lots of cool things. This makes out into a 16 by 16 inch piece. So it's absolutely perfect to put on your coffee table or kitchen table with a little candle on it. I like that. The inside part here is about 5.5 inches in diameter. So that's just perfect to place a little candle. This is where the name comes from, the candle mat. So a little bit about the template. This is information that comes with them, explains what all the marked lines are, the etched lines, and how you read it. Next page, page 3, gives some basic information about these two templates, how you would use them with different rotations. Here is a combination of different things you can do with different ways that you would flip and turn and things like that. And so it's really kind of a versatile template. What I especially like is it has this built-in interior circle that develops as you stitch it. So you don't have to worry about making that happen. You just follow the template and it's going to do it. Page 4 is the layout information and sizes used and things like that for our candle mat. So I started with an 18-inch piece of fabric, found where my center is horizontally, and you'll notice here, center of our wreath is a little bit higher than center of our fabric. So that's important. You might end up not having a fabric if you start dead center of your fabric. And we will stitch in one direction and then the other half goes the other direction. And that's what gives us kind of a more simulated of a wreath. We could go all the way around some of the other designs over here. This one goes both directions. And so, you know, there's lots of things that you can do with it. We have room here at the top where you could insert a bow from the ribbons and bows templates. And then even have enough room inside for a little motif of some sort. But today we're just going to keep it simple. We are adding a 4-inch and a 3-inch holly leaf down at the bottom and some berries in the corners. I've used the 3-inch, and this is totally optional. If you didn't want to do that, that would be fine. If you just simply wanted to create a circular pattern and then cut it and finish it in a circular handout or candle mat, you could definitely do that too.
Ooh, I like all the circle talk too.
Yeah,
because we might have a giveaway here in a little while that is going to incorporate doing maybe a circle mat to go with your circle holly.
Exactly.
Your holly wreath. Yeah.
So, this could be our center piece on your table, and then you could do the circular patterns for your placemats. And so there's just all kinds of fun things. So I have here, this has marked 12 rotation lines. And to do that, you can use a 6-point or 30-degree crosshair marker. But the easiest way is with this giant 12.5-inch. It's called the Ultimate 24.
Oh, the ultimate.
Slots. Let's move these papers out of the way. Maybe you can see it a little bit better. It has marking slots for 24 rotation lines. Let's get something underneath it so you can see all of that. So this is really great. I just marked every other one and automatically got my perfectly balanced 12 rotation lines. So it couldn't get any easier than that. Don't forget the center. This doesn't necessarily fit the chalk aligners real well, but any of the marking pens, I just used a regular
And don't forget, you can purchase these from resellers nationwide and get free shipping. So that's always an option by picking it up in the store or purchasing it directly from one of the nationwide resellers. So we definitely encourage that as well.
Oh, it's just really great. It's the same 12.5-inch square in size as what our other markers are. The crosshair markers, the standard 8-point that we use all the time, it's the same size as that. And so that's really nice. The other magic tool that I used is, who knows what this is? That is the outer rim marker for CircleWorks outer rim. Now, because we have that 8-inch interior circle in there, I like to go ahead and pre-mark where that is. It helps me when I'm stitching, just to know, more for my own personal comfort, to know that I am on target. And so once we have marked our 12 lines, then we would insert our pin, and then this would get placed on the 8-inch location. And there's information in the instructions for that. You may not be able to see that on this yellow fabric. Put that on and mark that circle. Because we have the template itself kind of creates a few little leaf portions, you might think you're off target. And so having that pre-marked guide, it's just really kind of helpful to know where you are. It's just another alignment mark. So that is the CircleWorks outer rim marker. And, with this thing, you can actually mark an 18-inch in diameter circle. And so it's not just little bitty things, but all kinds of stuff. So let's find my black background fabric. And we're going to take a look real quick at the two templates. So here we have, this is the outside, and you can see that portion of the holly leaf headed upward, and the inside, which is the smaller size, the 8-inch, is headed down. Here is the pin location for each, and the stitch path is what's going to help create that circular inside. I have placed a little piece of pink background tape on here just to help me identify quickly which alignment mark I wanted to use. Because I was working on light fabric, sometimes those etch lines disappear a little bit, and by having an arrow or colored tape or something like that just kind of helps you get back there quickly. So
hey, Donna, I wanted to do a quick shout out again,
okay.
Reminding everyone that we actually have a couple different opportunities to win. So the first opportunity to win, we actually posted an email to everyone out, and that was to go ahead and go to our Facebook page and tell us what this template set inspires you to want to create, finish, or just inspires you to want to get quilting. I've already seen lots of comments on that. A lot of them obviously are going to be gearing towards holiday season, where we maybe want to create a tree skirt or a table mat like you talked about. But get in there, tell us what it inspires you to do. We're going to be picking a winner to win the 2-piece template set. So, and we're going to be doing that at the end of this live today. So that's a great opportunity to jump in and be part of that. The other thing that we were going to be giving away is we're going to be giving away $10 in Sew City bucks, basically, to our website for every 25 shares. So right now we are currently at about 12 shares. So get in there and share this live feed to your groups, to your page, wherever you want to share it, and get an opportunity to win $10 to our Sew City website. That will go a long ways, because honestly, the Holly Wreath 2-piece template set is only $30. So you have the opportunity to purchase the 2-piece set or just one of each of the designs from anywhere from $16 to $30. So a great opportunity to jump into that set and be able to get that going. And then finally, we're going to have one more giveaway today. So stay tuned for that as we share more. But now, Donna, go ahead and take it back over and keep showing us how we're going to be making designs with this awesome template.
Well, perfect. And thank you, Stacy. That's such good information, and we can't share it often enough sometimes. So what we have here, this is what I call template, where we use our templates for applique. So we've all been doing and love the template technique, but when we add a layer of fabric on top and then do our quilting and then cut away the excess, then we have an applique of that same template. So we can take any of these, including the wreath, and do the very same thing. I didn't do it here because there was so much color. I was concerned about getting kind of overwhelmed with color. But down here on these overlay leaves and also in the corner, these would have been really nice little spots where we could have done that, just didn't do it. Here is a giant holly leaf, and this is from our sampler set number 2. And so we have lots of different sizes and opportunities for you if you just are really loving hollies this year. So let's move these out of the way, and let me reposition my camera just a little bit, and we will get some sewing going. So I have already pre-marked and put in my pin. I pre-marked a piece of fabric here with 12 rotations. Let's see if we can get some more light on the subject. And I'm going to mark my 8-inch circle. So that would be one of the easiest way, there's 2 sets of 8. And if you get the wrong number, then you're going to have a bigger circle than what you really want. So half of 8 is 4 inches. And so from our marking edge to this correct 8 should be 4 inches. And so with this, it's so easy to use. Put it in and just rotate right around. And we have a perfect circle. Now, when we are going to be stitching, of course, we wouldn't use this tool. This is strictly for marking, but that's when our Circles on Quilts templates come in and are just so awesome too. What I really like is how well some of the DM quilting templates work with the Wesley templates. I intermix them a lot. There's no reason that we can't do that. We don't have to just stay strictly with one or the other. So let's put our template in place. And what this pattern does, our first line up here at the top is going to get a leaf in both directions. So these will all go to the right. These will then go to the left. You know, and I thought I had staple tape on both sides of this, and now I see why it was sliding around for me yesterday. I don't have that. So can we see okay with that camera, Stacy?
Oh, that looks awesome. Yeah, you're good.
Whoops.
Oops. All right, getting a little squirrely now.
Oh, yeah. Well, I bumped it and everything moved.
Oh, wow.
You know how that goes. Let's see if this will hold right there.
There we go. Well, I pulled up that Facebook feed. That's where we're going to have everyone go to tell us what this inspires them to do for a chance to win. I'll post a link for that one again as well. It looks like you're just about ready to start showing us exactly how to use this template. So I will get back over to you immediately. We don't want to miss a thing here. But yeah, go ahead and get in there and post if you can get over to Facebook and for an opportunity to win that 2-piece template set.
So this is pretty easy to follow. I start not inside the pattern, but inside the circle. And so once we are correctly aligned and start right there on our marked circle, now that camera's not quite in the right position. I don't want you to just look at my arm. I want you to see what I'm doing. And so it's really pretty easy here. We're going to stitch along the edge. Now this stitch path isn't really so much wide where you have to worry about leaning one way or the other. There's just a slight variation, but it's mostly just stay in contact with the edge of the template. And we follow along. We're only going to do a few of these so we can also come back and do the other inside portion.
Donna, we just had a question come in. Someone said, can you do just 10 rotations or do you, with this tool, or would you need to move back and sew more of the circle first?
You can sew the circle as you go, and that's what I wanted to show you, how we're going to do that. The edge lines on the template are marked for 16, but if we're aligned like this, and we could actually do this with 8 or 4 or 20 rotations, you're just going to have a lot of overlap when you do that. So once we are finished with our leaf, then we're going to rotate the template. Now I hope you can see what I did, and I just turned it a little bit. Over here is our next mark line that we want our alignment spot to match up to, but we have to get there. And right now we're outside that stitch path. So we'll just stitch along. And this is where that marked circle kind of helps you keep on track. I'm kind of having a hard time seeing because I'm sitting back so far to not get in the way and bump the camera again. So once we are now aligned with our mark line, we can complete our whole pattern and go on around. So if we wanted more or less leaves, or we didn't want our inside part or the outside part, you know, it's real easy to just put what we need. This is kind of the nice thing about this set is it's flexible enough that you can have your wreath your way. So now I'm going to turn the template so we have our space to stitch along on our circle. And we just turn and stitch right in that path. Don't go too far or you're going to shoot off into outer space. But rotate the template again. So this isn't really unlike how the ribbons and bows templates work, or even the daisy works on a rotation system like this. Now I'm going the other direction, and it doesn't really matter if you get off target a little bit, then you can go. I'm having a hard time. For some reason, I'm sticking on my sewing machine. My fabric is hanging up here. And then we come right on back around. Let's do one more, and then we'll go back so we can work on our inside part. So you'll notice here our interior circle kind of stitches over a little corner of our leaf, and that's okay. When it's all said and done, what you see is the leaves, not the fact that there's stitches on the corners of it.
So cool. So we're really, really close to giving away a first giveaway for today. And again, that's $10 to our Sew Steady website. Every 25 shares, we're going to give away those $10 to our Sew Steady website. And we're at 23. So just a couple more shares to go. We'll be announcing our first winner. Again, you have the opportunity to win right there on our Sew Steady Facebook page. If you go to the very top of the page, there's a place to tell us what this template set inspires you to want to create and make. And that's how you're going to tell us for a chance to win. Currently, we've got about 40 comments on what people are inspired to do with this template. So let us know what you're inspired to do and get in that drawing for the two-piece template set. But I kind of like that idea of being able to space out the wreaths a little bit more if you wanted to, just by kind of continuing on and using that to create that circle.
I think so too, Stacy. You just kind of travel right on around that circle. So we're having here 12 rotations, and we're not going to stitch all the way at the bottom. We're going to leave that open because that's where our little leaf cluster goes. But you could go all the way around. You could go all the way around in the same direction and then go all the way around the other direction and have your two little leaves in its own little cluster. So I have to keep track where I am. Here's the one I want to skip. So we have room for one more. And we just follow that right on around with the edge of the template. Come back, line up.
Oh, here's a fun one. Someone said they have an advent calendar that would look cute with a leaf or a cluster in the pockets.
Oh,
I love that idea.
Great idea.
I've wanted our educators to help us create a fun little advent calendar project where we could have a, kind of a few different designs that could be used to, do an advent calendar. So we'll have to keep thinking about that, Donna.
That's a great idea. I
Mhm.
think that these templates would work well for that, because we can put, right here, we are going to have 12. It's real easy to do 24. Now, what I'm going to do
Absolutely.
is switch templates. And so
Yeah.
it's real easy. Remove the pin, slide it out. And what we're going to do is go back the other direction. So it kind of changes our pattern a little bit, but we're still going to align on that same mark line with our little pink spot here, our vertical center, if you will, of that pattern. So we may need to stitch forward just a little bit to get in there and complete that. But as we work our way back around going the other direction, we're going to be stitching right on top of that interior circle and creating our interior part of the wreath. And like I said, in between that is a 5.5 inch space. So here we are, we just stitch backwards right in that path on our circle. If you stop at the etch lines and don't go too far, you're not going to shoot out the back, but then move the template around as you need to. And I find that going from rotation mark to rotation mark kind of helps with that traveling. So here we are, ready for our second one, lined up. When I got this navy blue fabric out, I thought, it would really show up well, but I'm kind of liking this with the holly wreath on it. What's wrong with some nighttime holly?
All right, so we've got our first winner for our $10 credit to our Sew Study website, and that is going to be Mary Ann Muscat. You are the winner of our first $10 to our Sew Study website for sharing away. And now we currently have, looks like about 27 shares. So we'll start our next round. As for those of you that are just joining, or if you want to keep sharing, you can share to all different kinds of groups and pages. This is going to be, again, for another $10 to our Sew Study website. And then we'll try to get to one last round where we'll be giving away a really cool tool as well. So Marianne, you are the first winner of our $10 to our Sew Study website. You can email us at info@sewstudy to claim that credit for your shares.
So now we're ready to line up again and create another one. And we're going backwards, but it isn't really hard to do. We just kind of pay attention to where you are, and the circle develops automatically as you stitch the pattern. So when you're doing that stitching of that circle, you are over stitching where you were before, but it's not like you have to worry about backtracking and stay accurate. Just stay in connection with the template and then go down the circle. Here's my next alignment mark. I think we need to rotate a little bit so we can see what we're doing.
Oh, here's another fun idea. A set of kitchen towels as a gift using these fun rulers.
Well, why not? We embroider on them. So this is just another form of embroidery almost. When I first got started with ruler work, it was because I liked the finished look of it, the accuracy that you get, and the beauty similar to embroidery, but I had the back look just as good as the front, and you don't always get that with embroidery.
Mm-hmm.
So
There was a question that came in. Someone asked, why does this template stitch over the stitch line from the other design?
What was that?
Well, because it looks like the second template is kind of stitching into the design of the first circle a little bit, just I think at the point.
Well, it's just, excuse me, the first time around, notice we said that it does stitch over that little corner. And so when we go back, we're right on that line. We also have little leaf corner here, right up in there where I am right now, that kind of overlaps onto the leaf above it. And so it's just kind of the way holly works is, you know, you have all these pointed little edges that kind of overlap and go wherever they want to.
Well, and again, thinking about template, you could do whatever you wanted with those points.
Exactly.
So yeah, you could cut away, you could, yeah. So I think that it could actually look really, really neat.
So what I am now going to do, I'm right back at my center. And so it's time to turn my template and go the other way. And in order to do that, we just turn it over. And I don't have staple tape on the other side. I just realized that a few minutes ago, but it'll work because we have the pin that holds it mostly. And then if I have too much trouble with it because my fabric isn't moving very well, then we'll have to do something different. But we're going to try it this way and see. Let's just cut that thread and see if it'll work for me. So I'm lined up. I think the most important thing is to start out in the right spot. So let's turn the camera around. Oh dear, that's kind of blurry, huh? See if we can back up and get it to focus better. Ugh. Has it been that way all along, Stacy? There we go. So here we have our marked circle, but it hasn't been stitched yet. And so we kind of look a little funny because this is our first double leaf going the other way. And so now I need to move my template forward or to the left so I can travel along my marked circle. And line up again. We can see here. Oh, you guys, I am so sorry. I don't know what's going on with this camera. I don't usually have a problem with that. Maybe we're a little too close.
All right. So yeah, the focus is just a little bit off, Donna. I'm not sure. Must be coming back into focus there. But I'll head over to our Facebook page again, where I'll show some folks what some of the other inspirational ideas are for taking these amazing two-piece template set and turning it into something that could be an inspiration. So someone suggested they'd love to make a border by turning and twisting the holly leaf. So instead of making it a wreath, making it a border. I love that idea. That's a great idea. Of course, maybe a Christmas candle on a table topper. That's a fun idea. I think we might end up having a couple different giveaways out of these ideas today because I just love it. Making a circle with an ornament in the middle, super fun. Ooh, a holiday jacket. I love that one. So someone suggested that they could make a holiday jacket and have this design on it.
Well, I think we have some pretty clever people out there coming up with all these great ideas. I like the idea of a jacket. I think that would be so much fun. You know, and really with these, was thinking about yesterday, all the different ways that we can use this. If we were to use felt, and you could make ornaments, you could make little name tags, you could string them and have the pennants, just all kinds of cool stuff. I like the idea too of using some of the soft and stable that has the fusible on it, which lets us then have, I'm going to come right to there, to that mark line, so I can be in line for my next pattern. So we can then use that fusible and the fabric and then cut them out. And, you know, it's just kind of a fun way you can add to the top of your little projects, whether it's a pillow for the holiday season or a jacket or a candle mat with little freestanding different elements on it. So all kinds of cool stuff. So this leaf all by itself here looks a little weird, but when they're put together, they're not quite so weird. They just kind of work. But I think if you were going to do something and just have a single little holly leaf, you might want the holly leaf instead of the leaves here, because these were designed to work in this circular wreath pattern. And so on their own, your stem is going to be kind of wonky, and just the whole thing might not work super well. So travel back along, come to the mark line, work my way around. Now I'm kind of turning my hand here, I see. I didn't realize I was. Looks like this is our last pattern. And I think we want to come closer. Well, let's see, maybe not. Let's put the other one on and see where we need to go. So this is the thing. We have that stitch path on there that is going to help us go where we need to be. We just have to make sure we're the right direction. So I have my upside down, my top down, line it up down here. So now I'll have to stitch on around a little bit because I'm too far back. And this is my low end on the left-hand side of the outside. Now on my yellow candle mat, I use some red thread and just thread painted my berries on. You could use fabric and applique them, or not. You wouldn't even have to fill them in. I just thought it was kind of fun to do that. Gives a little extra color. But you can see how our circle, we're right back on that circle again. By aligning our inside unit with the same registration marks as the other side, then they're going to be paired as you go. But you don't have to. You could offset them and do one way and another one another direction. You could do the inside ring with 12 rotations and the outside with 16 if you wanted a fuller outside. That's what's kind of cool with this, is you get to decide. And it's all going to look good. I have played with these things in lots of different combinations, and they all turn out real nice. Pretty easy to do, especially if you have stable tape on both sides, which I don't on this one. And stitch along and rotate. Stay on that outside edge. Just keep track of where your next alignment spot is right here.
I like this comment. It says the pair of leaves almost look like bats, so this could be used for Halloween too.
Oh, don't they really?
Yeah, that's a
that
great
would be
idea.
kind of cool. Little bat wings, huh? Especially when we're doing it like this here, you can see it a little more. I thought they looked kind of like butterfly wings. But I guess it all depends on what else you're doing with it, you know, how they're going to be.
Yeah, I think that's such a fun idea. We continue to have lots of good ideas coming through on the Facebook post as well. Again, an opportunity to win the set by going in and just telling us with this two-piece set inspires you to want to create. You know, at first, I know the shape isn't quite right, but it actually reminded me of a shooting star.
Oh, yeah.
Or how cool you could, you know, make some shooting stars with this template. So maybe that's a template idea for the future.
That's a good idea, Stacy.
So let's see here. Someone said an awesome door hanging design. That's a fun one, definitely for the holidays. Again, pulling in some of that template to do that. Oh, someone said it would look really cool on maybe a round dining table, creating maybe the circle mat or something.
Now, we have come right back to our beginning center location, and we have finished with that wreath. So you can see here, that wasn't too bad. We still have our spot down here where the individual leaves could be added, but let's just cut this thread and take this out so you can take a look at it now that my camera seems to be not focusing or staying focused and not becoming fuzzy. I think sometimes all these lights play tricks on them.
So yeah, how are you going to do the individual leaves at the bottom then? Are you just going to kind of turn them slightly?
The individual leaves at the bottom, let me pull out those templates. So I used, oh, where's my notes? Here is the 2x3 inch, and the other one is a 3x4 inch. And what I did here, and let me show you this little thing. I call this just my parchment, and there's not much of anything to it. It's just actually, it's a leftover piece from some template fuse where I peeled off on the back. Put my template on there, and let's see which one it is. And with a stitching line disc, I marked where my stitches would be. So with
that's a different template, Donna.
That's a different template.
Oh, is that the holly leaf?
Holly leaf. And
okay.
So with this piece, I can lay that on here and decide where I want to place my leaf. And so then come right back, position my leaf, and then remove the paper and stitch it. And it's going to come out right where I wanted it to be. So this is the holly leaf. And with that, it starts out on our registration line, that bottom one we didn't stitch, and right on our 8-inch circle. And that's where we would start with our needle in position. I don't think you would want to overlap on your other stitches too much, but you can just simply adjust it and using, what are we going to use? Our spacing gauge to make sure that we are outside that. So right here, you can see we would cut across that corner a little bit, but if we just kind of bring it down a little bit more, we can get away from that and not cut off too much of that. You could even just go straight down, would be okay. So anyway, this is the 3 by 4 inch holly leaf. And here is the 1 by 2 and 2 by 3. And so with this combination, these can just be placed individually wherever you want and added in. Let's take a look at the yellow one here, and you can see what we did. So I positioned right here for my first one, and there's a little bit of an overlap on that corner. Now, because these are completely separate, I went around them 2 times to make them a little bit more bold, just so you can more easily see what it is. On the smaller one right here, I wanted it behind that big one, so I didn't even stitch the whole thing. I started here, came around, back to here, and then returned back to that spot. Then I changed my thread to the red color and was able to do the berries. So it's pretty easy. It's a lot of fun, and you can just kind of go on and on and on with what you want to do. Down in the corners, just for some little fill-in, I have just some little clusters in a lighter color thread, which is going to give me texture and not really show up as much as the darker thread does. It's not as pronounced because it's a lighter color thread, and so therefore it blends in. It gives texture without jumping out at you. So how are we doing there?
We are getting close. We currently have about 15 shares to go to do another giveaway for the Sew Steady website. But I did want to go ahead and officially announce our winners. And then, you know, Donna, someone asked if you are using a table that has a BSR built into it.
No, I'm not. I am using the Clear Advantage glider, though.
She's got the Clear Advantage glider on, guys.
You can see that covering my insert right here, you know, and this is absolutely perfect, smooth transition where my machine touches that edge of the insert and then the insert on my cabinet over here. This is all perfectly smooth. There is no bumps or lumps or any place to catch. My fabric just goes right across it. And so that's really nice. You get to decide where you want your hole and cut it out using the little tool that's provided, the little marking template, and place that wherever you need it. I wanted to have mine come up in here close to the back end of the machine up in here. So I have all of this part covered. And so I got pretty close to this back edge near the machine. I never had a glider that came all the way up in there. I've always had a space out here. And so this is really nice, but it's a nice heavy gauge, a type of acrylic, I guess. What is this made of, Stacy?
That is the actual Clear Advantage glider.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's actually the polyester mat.
Oh, it's polyester.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that makes sense. It's nice and thick. it's not going to worry about, I'm not going to worry about it ripping and tearing. It's just really nice. And
Yeah.
so if you don't have one yet, you're going to want one. And then, with my machine, my bobbin is down underneath. And so I don't even have to remove the glider to get to my bobbin. I can just reach in underneath down here and open my door and get to it. So that's another excellent feature.
We have officially picked our winner for the Holly Wreath set. The winner is Mary Sheehan. Hopefully I pronounced that right. She commented that she's in need of a new wall hanging for Christmas and loves the holly. So Mary, you are the official winner from our Facebook feed. Again, we had lots and lots of great comments, but we did go ahead and pick our official winner for the two-piece set. We wanted to share with everyone, and in doing so, do one more giveaway today because we appreciate all of you for joining us. And that is actually going to be our Sew Steady Circles and Straights tool. It's also part of our weekly deals. I don't know if you see that we have weekly deals at times, but this week our weekly deal is our Circles and Straights tool and mat. And if you purchase this awesome tool and mat, which, hey, by the way, could be really cool with your Holly Wreath design, then you have the opportunity to actually get a point turner with it this week as well. So the point turner is really neat when you're actually turning that mat kind of inside out, if you will. And you can see right here on the screen, we've used that the Circles and Straights tool to do circle mats, just like the one that we're talking about creating for the Holly Wreath. So this is a great tool. Donna, I know you've used that Circles and Straights tool a lot. What do you think about it? Is that something that you've enjoyed?
Oh, it's like, why didn't we have that years and years ago? It just made life so much easier.
Yeah,
I
I
can't
agree.
imagine trying to do all of that without it. But this just makes a perfect little pattern for that because we can decide what you need. So the Circles and Straights tool is easy to use and well worth that little bit of an investment.
Well, we got a lot of great comments today on the live feed. And because of that, I wanted to go ahead and use that to pick our next winner. And that, again, is going to be the winner for our Circles and Straights tool and mat. So I'm going to go ahead and see if we can sync all of those comments ends and all of those likes and hearts and everything else so we can pick a winner right now. So let's go ahead and do that. Do you have any final words that you want to share with everyone as we're kind of wrapping this up, Donna?
Well, Stacy, I do. I noticed that, oh gosh, someone asked a question about the Clear Advantage glider and how it would work with the BSR. And I haven't tried it with my BSR table. I don't have, my insert doesn't have the spot for that, but I think it would work because I know on the table, it focuses on there and reads it perfectly. And so this is clear. There's no problem with it. It just gives you a nice solid surface on there. And I think it might improve actually because you're not going to have that same resistance that sometimes might be experienced. So I don't remember who it was that asked that question, but I hope she's still on here and that answers it for her.
Absolutely. Well, we did want to go ahead and announce the final winner today. And again, that is for the Circles and Straights tool and mat, along with the free point turner that anyone that purchases the Circles and Straights tool is going to get this week. And that's going to be Linda Shell. You are the final winner today of the Circles and Straights tool and mat and the point turner and of the day. We never got to our 50 shares. We we got kind of close. But again, each week, every 25 shares, we'll be giving away an extra $10 to our So Steady website to buy some of these or help in the purchase of some of these cool tools. So the Circles and Straights tool in that is the deal of the week. And of course, our Clear Advantage Glider is a brand new tool. One other announcement I wanted to make is, if you do purchase these tools from one of our So Steady resellers, you have the opportunity to get free shipping. Or if you went ahead and bought it on our website and then chose to pick it up in one of the stores near you that is one of our participating web direct dealers, then you have the opportunity to get free shipping and pick up in the store. So definitely encourage you to consider that in the future as well. But we've got a couple more links coming your way. Again, we showed off the Holly Wreath template today, and so we've created a link for that, as well as that 24-point ultimate crosshair square. That was kind of a cool tool to show off. That's something that we don't show off very often. So thanks for sharing that with everyone, Donna.
Oh, you're welcome. I really enjoy that one. It's nice.
Absolutely. All right. Well, again, thanks for joining us for Wednesday Wonders, and we'll be back next week. And Donna, is there something special that you're wanting to tell everybody about our next week's live?
Well, I just wonder what it is we're going to be doing.
Ooh, well, Donna and I sat down and we made a whole new schedule for everyone. So we're going to keep going with our Wednesday Wonders. And next week, I think that you might be inspired by some flowers, guys. Donna has an amazing template called the Daisy, and we're going to be showing some of that off, and she's going to be getting you inspired, maybe with pairing that with some other popular designs by Westerly that will get you going for maybe some summer fun projects as well. So please join us again next week, and we'll hope to hear how all of those templates are going to inspire you next week for an opportunity to win. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Congratulations, and